Hello and welcome back to another video. You should be reading One Punch Man. My latest binge read was blazing through all of One Punch Man thanks to the Viz Manga app. This is a quick review of the series as of chapter 138 in February 2021. And having caught up to the current chapter, I just had to talk a little bit about the series and how great it is right now. First, a quick overview of the series if you're watching this video and somehow have no idea of the plot of One Punch Man, so mild spoilers ahead. In a world filled with superheroes and monsters, our main character, Saitama, fought a monster and lost, and decided to train to get stronger. After 3 years of intensive training, he is now strong enough to beat any monster with a single punch. And that's the basic plot. The main character is extremely overpowered and becomes bored with being too strong for any challenge, so it's a satire on the superhero genre. A quick first reason to convince you on why you should definitely be reading One Punch Man, besides the amazing story and lovable cast of characters, is Yusuke Murata's artwork. The manga artist is incredibly detailed and easily up there with the most praised manga art, such as Berserk and Vagabond, two of my other personal favorite series. Each panel is full of details. From the intricate backgrounds to the character designs, you can tell how much Murata loves drawing these characters. In addition to the details in each panel, Murata lately has been drawing entire action sequences. With some manga, only a few bits of the fight are shown, and the rest is left to your imagination to fill in the gaps. But a recent trend in the latest chapters are drawing the entire action sequence, including those in-between moments, so you can really follow the action as if you were watching the series animated happening right in front of you in real time. The artwork, while already good in the early chapters, is really reaching the highest levels as the story progresses, and it's another reason why now is the perfect time to start up One Punch Man, so you can enjoy the current story arc in all of its glory. Next, the second and main reason you should be reading One Punch Man is of course the amazing plot. The series begins fairly innocently, as we are introduced to the first couple of characters and shown the world of One Punch Man. Saitama meets the cyborg Genos and becomes his master, and together they join the Hero Association, with Saitama given the lowest rank because he scored so poorly on the written portion of the test, and his only aspirations to climb the ranks higher is because he will have to patrol less. The first major story saga begins with fighting various monsters in these mini-arcs, dealing with various low-level threats, eventually culminating in fighting aliens who invaded Earth. While it was entertaining fighting these various smaller factions like the Sea King, the plot really improved for the second major saga, with the introduction of the Monster Association and the hero hunter Garo in chapter 39. This is when One Punch Man really became a top-tier series for me, having an interesting side character storyline with Garo, while we are also following the rest of the heroes fighting the Monster Association. And all the while Saitama is doing Saitama stuff, like fighting in the martial arts tournament. From the first saga, we know Saitama is strong enough to beat all these threats with a single punch, so they don't really pose a threat. But we are drawn into the One Punch Man universe and can see how big it is, that all these other events happen that Saitama doesn't deal with. It's a great way to handle having an overpowered main character by diversifying the cast and making the side characters equally as interesting, while having the main character still doing fun stuff that keeps us reading. As of early 2021, we are heading into what seems to be the end of the Monster Association saga, as the fight against the big boss of this saga seems to be almost over, and hints are being dropped about a new looming threat, which could be the start of the next saga. The world is being constantly expanded upon, and the last few chapters have gotten progressively more exciting and more revealing as the heroes are struggling with the final battle against the monsters, and Saitama is on his own journey of exploration to what else is going on behind the scenes. The third reason why you definitely should be reading One Punch Man is the mix of comedy alongside the thrilling action. Overall, the story is a light and easy read. Lots of pages are simply following the fights and enjoying the amazing visuals by Murata. The plot in the second overarching saga is getting more complex than a sort of Monster of the Week formula, but it's still an action manga published in Shonen Jump, meaning the action is first and foremost with a title that literally says punch. One of the draws of the series, besides the action and readability, is how One Punch Man balances the satirical comedy aspect and doesn't take itself too seriously. The entire concept of the manga is a parody of the overpowered superhero action genre, and Saitama could easily beat any opponent thrown his way. So his kryptonite, if you will, is being bored with being too strong and going on side quests while we as readers watch the rest of the superheroes attempt to deal with monsters and other threats. The plot stays super interesting because the rest of the heroes are struggling with a threat, while Saitama is off doing something else interesting, but not necessarily fighting the main big bad threat facing humanity at that time, and still having tons of action scenes worthy of being in Jump. One of my favorite characters, and an example of this, is King, the guy who is always in the wrong place at the wrong time. always being the last person standing when another hero, usually Saitama, takes care of the monster, and thus King gets the credit for beating it when he's just a normal guy with zero power. Every scene with King usually ensures that the King engine is going to be rumbling, and we're in for an absurd, humorous situation that King will somehow survive and be praised for. The action will be flying around him, and the situation itself with the normal person King in this absurd situation is always hilarious. The balance of action and comedy is also in the artwork, which will be showing an ultra-detailed battle with blasts and explosions erupting around steel-faced fighters. And then the next panel will have a comedic relief from Saitama doing something absurd to break the tension. I've read shonen manga like Dragon Ball Z, which tend to be lighthearted at times in between the action, but I've never laughed out loud while reading it like I did when reading One Punch Man. The comedy really helps to break up the seriousness of the fights and helps to make this manga such an easy and relaxing read, perfect to unwind with after a long day or as a break from reading a more serious story as a palate cleanser. With these three reasons, the god-tier artwork, amazing story that is ramping up to be truly legendary, and the easy reading nature of the story with its mix of action and comedy, I hope you're convinced that now is the perfect time to punch your way through the series and get caught up. One Punch Man is in a great place right now, and it's the perfect time to join the hype as we are reaching a crescendo in the Monster Association saga. Thanks for watching, and please stick around for more manga recommendations on this channel.